One. Hey everyone, welcome back to Adobe Live. I'm Jack, and today I'm joined by director and studio owner Mandy Celine for this Feature Friday. Mandy's joined us quite a few times on Adobe Live. For Feature Friday, today we're going to be looking at Single Word Captions, a new feature in Adobe Premiere. But I'm going to let Mandy tell you all about that, and why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, share some of your work, let us know a little bit more. For those who haven't seen you before,
everyone.
Which I feel like is a small amount.
The accent might have thrown some people. I'm based in London, so for those of you joining from the UK, it is 6 p.m. over here. I think a lot of people are America side. I'd love to know where you're from. I'm a director who runs a post-production house here in London. It's a boutique one. We specialize in content creators and digital with branded as well. And it's so hot. Just so you know, it's so hot. So if I go a bit loopy, that's it. We're going to be talking, as I said, well, no, I didn't say anything. Jack did. Single word captions and general captioning workflow. We're going to make some styles, how to basically make your social captions the best that can be with this wonderful new feature.
All right, I'm going to switch over actually to your screen if you want to get into it, if you're ready.
Let's do it. Let's just let's dive into it. So first off, vertical video is where it's at. We all know that. You may recognize this video, by the way, from our last teaching session. I have to find clients that will allow us to use their content for educational purposes.
Well, we're grateful for them. Thank you, clients.
Thank you. This is a director called Det Monroe, who's doing a comedy course, and he's talking to, it's an interview with Vishen, who is a huge speaker in his own right with several million followers, who did this comedy course with Deck. And we're making social cut downs to promote the comedy courses Deck does, because he also works with comedians as well, and actors who are doing live and all of this. And we need to caption this video today, and we will do that. Social first captioning trends are huge. They change regularly. Actually, a fun one is butter yellow text, and it reminds me of the old teletext. So maybe we'll play with that. We're gonna make our own style later. But the big thing right now, depending on who your audience is, really is the single word captioning and animation style. So we've seen that around a lot. So what we have here is Vishen talking about the course. I think a lower third should come up around here. Oh, and by the way, if you are I've personalized this workspace. So if you're looking at my Premiere going, that Premiere looks weird. I'll get into where you can find all the windows, but there is also this fun menu at the very top. I'll highlight it up here. And you can go to, for me, vertical video is this one. And I use this a lot as well. It works really well. It would work well for this lesson. I just had made that other layout. I wonder if it saved. Let's see, it did. Okay. Love that for me. Didn't even check, went rogue. But yeah, we need to make captions for this. We need this to be engaging. We want the thing with captions as well is you want people to really hear you on the screen and not just be reading the screen for a long period of time. And I think that's why single word captions are so popular, because you're only focusing on that word, which is great. And it makes things really accessible, and you can see where things are going. If things are too fast, you can slow it down. But anyway, that's for another day. We're not focusing on multiple word captions.
Let us know in the chat, though, if you find the captions on especially social video to be helpful. Depending on the situation, man, you have the volume off on your phone probably, so that's when I feel like the captions really come in handy for watching that stuff. Yeah, Cody's saying I like single word captions. We'll see what chat says.
I had a friend the other day. I didn't put captions on my story because there's two things, because some people don't put captions on because it forces people to turn the volume on, which can help with engagement analytics in the background. That's a risky tactic, but I was mostly just chatting on my own stories to my friends, and it was on a close friends of my friend. For the love of God, please put captions on. I do not watch stories with the audio on. So I do it. Okay, let's get into the captioning workflow. If you need the text panel, For here, you'll see I've already got stuff transcribed because I have auto transcription turned on. So let's go from the very beginning here. If you're looking for this window, you can go up to window, go down to text, click and add it there. You can drag this to wherever you want it to be. In theory, there we go. And you'll get all these panels. I could put it up here if I wanted. I could put it here. I like where I've set mine. We're going to keep it there. I want to be able to read all the text. That's going to be super important for me. You can also go into your settings. Premiere settings and transcription should be here somewhere. Where can I read it? Blah, 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 blah. There it is. And you can set things to automatically transcribe. Oh, there we go. Which is what I tend to do so that I don't have to remember later, please transcribe this for me, and it has a little button and you have to wait for it. This just does it. Big fan of that. Big fan. And you can also get it to auto transcribe all the clips that are just imported into the project. Big fan, because I search clips. Big fan of that feature. That's one of my favorite things they've ever brought in.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate that every time you're on, Mandy, you have the like zoom, the like little highlight, because Premiere is such a complicated workspace. It's so helpful to be able to see the tools that you're kind of talking about as you're walking us through this. So I want to
remember this, like here. I love this. I know I do not use it enough as a feature, but I need to remember it exists. And I try and make my pointers show up for people as well. Because I know black on black can be like, cool, thanks. And you can set your language. You'll notice that mine is English UK because there are several kinds of English. So check, maybe. It's probably defaulted to the US version for a lot of people.
I think it depends on
English.
The language
English,
setting.
not even US, just English.
Oh, well.
Yeah. I'm just saying I speak English. That's you know. I discovered recently, as a small tangent, that Americans don't have two spellings of program. I was working with another American creator and doing working with their captioning, and I was like, "Oh, you've spelled program wrong." And they were like, "No, I haven't. We have one word for everything." And I was like, "No, like for a mentorship thing, it should have another M and an E." And he was like,
"Oh, yeah, no, I didn't know that either."
Yeah. I was like, "You don't have the second word?" Anyway, but yeah, you can go over here to the settings and change that so it does this automatically for you, which is great. And you do want to transcribe all your clips, by the way, because you can literally just search anything. So if I want to be like educator, oh, there it is. I had it all highlighted. It will show you that, and you can search, and it will take you to exactly where it is in the timeline as well, if you were looking for that specific point of the clip. So I do encourage you. Yeah, I super encourage you to transcribe everything. Next step will be the captions. Now, this is where you can create your captions because it doesn't do it automatically. And we're going to do that, and it's super fast workflow. And guess where the new feature is? It's in this box. So firstly, you're going to want to tip this down. I'm going to move this up because this feels very low on the screen to me. You want to make sure it says subtitle default. That's super important. There are loads of different variations. Oh, cool. Is it in here as well? It's a new feature. I'm learning. There's always like 10 ways to do one thing.
It's very true. Yeah.
So I guess it's also there. But the feature I like using is just this one where I can click it here and choose myself. You can opt to remove the punctuation, which I think no, I'm not going to because it depends on accessibility. We can try without later if we want or have time. And for the moment, there is no style. I haven't made a style for this video. And but once you make a style, you can add it here. So you don't need to do half the work we're going to do today. Nice. And then you just click create captions.
There we go. Let's split it all
and
out.
They are
see it already.
They're down here at the bottom of the video. This is a very traditional placement. It's more of a TV placement than it is a social placement because menus cover this 90% of the time and description boxes. So we will move that. If you're wondering about this box, by the way, this is called a safety broadcast safe zones, basically, but safe margins in the program, and you can switch them on and off here. I like it when I'm doing captions because I like to see the center points of a video.
Gotcha.
But I'm going to switch them off for this second. Am I doing too much talking? Who knows? You can always interrupt me.
No, we're doing good. We've got some people joining us in the chat. Sean Kozel is also from the burning hole in Europe.
Oh yeah, it's
so
like the ninth circle of hell.
You've got some friends joining you from the
Yeah.
heat wave.
Yeah.
Single Word Captions. I've got a poll going. 67% of people like captions on social video. So
yeah, it's common. So I'm just going to watch this through with the captions because I want to see one, if it's correct, two, timing of the captions. We'll zoom in a bit as well on the timeline. I'm pressing the plus button to do that. And it's going to move as we go forward. So I'm just going to, you're going to see it as well over here as it goes down as well. So we're just going to use, I think this is a minute of our time.
Okay. I think this is incredible.
Oh, that's very loud. Is that okay?
We can turn it down just a bit. I think it's like a little bit louder than our microphones. Chat will let us know.
How do I turn that down? Hang on a second. I don't know if I can.
Can you just turn down the audio in the clip in?
You know, that's a great idea. I've got that's one way of doing it, but I don't know if that will change externally. Let's just do this and then do the mix.
Yeah, either that or turn it down on the output there.
Let's try this.
Okay.
I think this is
that's
good. Yeah.
I feel that when you go for standard speaker training, you don't really learn this stuff. It's not about wanting to become a stand-up comedian. I think that's great. Go for it if you want that. But it's about
pretty good in terms of the timing.
How to tell stories that make people smile and laugh. In a world where anybody can create a speech with AI, the mastery of the delivery, of the humor, AI can't do that. And if you can learn that, you stand out from 99% of other speakers out there. You get booked for more gigs, more people pay attention to you.
A lot of this is thinking, how can you communicate it without necessarily giving us all of the verbiage?
I'm taking this course because I'm also bringing these ideas into my LinkedIn. And it's working. I'm seeing people are responding to comedy so much more, so much better than just regular, boring post. Everyone wants to be entertained, not just spoken to.
Sometimes you're writing where you could be performing.
And if you're a speaker, if you're an educator, this is going to change your life.
Okay, great. That's actually almost entirely spot on. There are things I want to change because he says, for example, post. So I'm just going to scroll down to, you know, why am I going to scroll? They made things for a reason. Where is it? Here, post. He means posts, but he said post. So let's just fix that so it makes sense. And then I think everything else was perfect. It spelled verbiage right. Love that.
Yeah,
because I couldn't do that
with the not only the spelling but like the timing is really good.
Yeah. I'm just gonna
incredible because I feel that
now this is preference. You can choose whether or not you want to close this gap.
Yeah, so
like
there's nothing on the screen during that time. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna you know what, we'll do this when it's a bit bigger because none of us can see this properly. So first off, let's work on that. Let's work on the fact that this eye is the tiniest eye ever in the world. If you're wondering where it is, it's here.
Yeah, you would almost mistake it for like, is there something on my screen?
Yeah, right. So let's fix this and then we can fix the timing and then we can animate it, right? I think that's the way we're going to have to roll today. So we're going to make our style. Now, I've downloaded this font called TikTok Sans that it seems to default to. I don't think I ever asked it to default to this. It's decided to do it. But it is the TikTok font. So one of the things I'm going to change immediately is let's put that in the center of the screen and let's make it a bit bigger because I might have to highlight it actually up here. This is the properties panel, by the way. If you're not seeing the properties panel, let's go, you know what, let's go for a solid 100. If you're not seeing the properties panel, once again, you go to window, make sure properties is checked because it might be just on another panel. But a lot of properties is a really fun panel because it's what's the word, like dynamic, because it changes depending on what you click on. So when you're working, if you click on a caption, it will do this, but if I click on a video file, it's going to give me transform tools. And
I always say it's like contextual to what you have selected.
That's the perfect way to put it. I was like, what is the word I'm thinking of? Contextual panel. That's good. All right, so for the moment, let's put a shadow on it. That's cool. So maybe you don't want the shadow, maybe you want it to be really TikTok-y. Let's put a stroke on it. Let's make it black. Let's make it solid 000 black.
And right now you're only editing the singular, this I. That
just this single one, and I'm putting that is sharp and pointy. I feel like there's a way to change that, or there used to be. Maybe not. Maybe it's just
what do you got there under options?
Outer inner center. There we go. That's what I want. That's a bit better. So we got stroke. You can also double stroke if you wanted to, by the way, by adding another color and going in and playing around, like stroke on stroke. We're not going to do that. Not for this one. I do it for my kids' content, actually.
Yeah,
I put two different greens.
Yeah.
I do that all the time. So that's great. And I took off the shadow because we're doing the black outline instead, which I think is a bit better. And you know what? For funsies, because I don't think I know what this is, let's make it semi-bold so it really stands out. Okay, so we have that there. Now, if you just push it out to all your captions, which I'll show you how to do, it won't actually bump up where it is on the screen. I don't know why. It might be a bug. But I know it won't do it. So if you go up to here to redefine style, this will just push it out to there we go, purple. Nice. All captions on the track. Really, highlight that. That was a bit more intense than I intended. And we can click OK. And what you'll notice is it will push it out, but nothing is quite in the right place. So I'm just going to undo that for a second. Press Control Z. I'm going to go back and click this plus sign up here. And we're going to create a style. Now, if you've done styles before, you can import them as well, but we're going to create one. We're going to call this the Adobe Lifestyle. Why not? So I can find it for later. And you can save it to your local styles so you can import it and everything. I'm not going to do that because I'm probably never, ever going to use this style ever again. But what it will do is save to the project. So,
well, that could be helpful if you have something for the project or that you want to use over and over again for.
Yeah, it's right here, and you can actually copy this across projects, make a template with it in, and all sorts. So it exists around. And once you do that, it should then push everything to the center, which is great.
Nice. Yeah, I see that. That's a good little trick there to keep the placement.
Yeah, there's different ways to do it as well. So, and I'll show you another way later when we're getting into the graphics, tasty animated part. So let's go and check some timings of the gaps.
Feel that when you
go firstly, I like when with my captions, if there's a cut and there's like 2 frames, I move the caption over. And I'm gonna try for this.
Feel that when you go for standard speaker training.
Go. You know what, that works. It's long enough. It's ones like this, so
like little tiny gaps like that.
Tiny. I want it.
It's not
just
it's so minor
visually instead of having all those like jarring moments as you're watching the video.
Try.
Comedian. I think
is that too short?
Comedian.
I think that works.
Yeah, that one I think is okay.
Go for it if you want.
Yeah, move that across. It's only like 3 frames. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm going to move that across. Yeah, that's nicer. Here, where's that cut? Sometimes it's on the cut and it's done a perfect job of that. But if it's just a smidge too short, it sucks. But that's a personal preference as well. It's an eye thing. So
the mastery. AI. The mastery.
You know what? He might as well. Hang on.
With AI.
You know what? I like it. It gives him a second as well to look like that for, say, a frame for a cover story.
Yeah, and it's like you said, there's a visual transition there, so it makes sense to have that.
Might move
AI.
Yeah, that works better. Move that there because we're going to animate it, so it's going to have a little bit more time to come in.
That's fun.
Mastery of the delivery of the humor. AI can't do that.
Oh, that's
potentially also do different styles for the interviewer and the interviewee.
Yeah, 100%. So actually, yeah, because he does say something in a minute, doesn't he?
If you can learn
Yeah,
that,
so I've done something that might be against some people, but I moved the and a fraction later.
if you can learn,
Like because it works on the jump of the visual better than because I did a J cut basically, so he's not saying it in the image, but it's like letting people in.
if you can learn that, you
captioning
stand,
tips today, folks, for those following along.
you stand out.
Yeah, that used too early actually. Sorry, if you can learn that.
You stand
Okay, that's
out.
great. And then last two, there's only a couple of gaps left, like 4. Where is
The speakers out there, you get booked for more.
like that's the wrong punctuation actually there, so we're going to go edit that. To do that, you just go back to the text panel, double click, full stop. There we go, turn that up. That's
Speakers out there, you get booked for more gigs, more people.
Some people like we'll retranscribe this, by the way, and I'll show you how to make them all caps and all lowercase, but I would advise against it for accessibility reasons, but I know it can be aesthetic. Okay, we'll get something for everybody. 2 seconds, nearly done.
To you.
A lot of this,
it does. I'm assuming that accessibility comes into play for a lot of your work because you work in TV, so you have to take all these kinds of things.
I work a lot in digital, so like, and I I was trained. I was actually trained mostly in digital, but I have done stuff for TV as well, and we do a lot of TV for social. So I just kind of learned the standardized way of editing in a way, like as in like I didn't go to film school actually. I'm entirely self-taught. Thank you. But like, and now I teach other people, so I hope I'm not messing them up. But it's I think it's really important to, if you want to have a career in post, to learn how more traditional people also work, because otherwise you're going to have a slight clash in workflow. So we have people that are so, for example, the other day I had a friend editing something, and he's a very well-known content creator, but he actually did go to film school, which bothers me more actually, because his timeline was a mess. So he called me to help me fix his timeline because the guy had done stuff. I was like, I don't know why he's done that workaround. That's made your job 5 times harder. So it was like he had grouped and nested clips that didn't be grouped and nested, and it meant things weren't working properly, a whole thing. And I think learning like basics of why multicam works the way it does, and the way that loads of people learn it in that way, as opposed to, or at least learn it in these 3-4 ways, as opposed to just kind of winging it and hoping that's the way everyone else does it. I think that knowledge gets you there. And with captioning, I think because digital people don't know about broadcast safe zones, because a lot of people, like a lot of Gen Z, didn't grow up in the era where TV changed from 4:3 to 16:9, right? So, and I love stuff like that. So actually, the interesting thing about that, like I'm watching ER at the moment. I've never watched it before.
Classic. My family's obsessed with that show.
It's so fun to watch because I'm like, I had to Google how old George Clooney was. That man has looked 40 since he was 20 and stayed that way for 40 years or something. It's crazy. Well, not that long. He's not that old. But he, anyway, the reason why certain things were put in what looked like weird places is so that if some people had a wider TV, it wouldn't be like, some had responsive TVs that would crop things or would add black bars, or so it was always so things could be seen. And that actually happened when people first came to digital, because flip cameras in 2009 were 4:3. They weren't 16:9 originally, and then there was the 16:9 one, and that was a big deal. So like then YouTube became responsive, and it was like adding black bars or cropping video, and you would lose data if you had done captioning outside of these zones, because they would account for those zones. And that's why they're called broadcast safe zones. Anything you put in the middle of this generally will be fine. Premiere has another thing built in, templates. We'll get to it, I promise. That is really useful if you're wondering if like graphic features of certain platforms are going to interact with your captions. And I love that they put that in. I'm just going to very quickly finish this together with you. Sure. I think I'm very close to it. There we go. So all of this is a different person, and it didn't know it was the second speaker. And in my defense, I didn't tell it there was more than one speaker.
Would you do that when you do the transcription? You would give it that information?
Yeah, around the transcription. But to be honest, I don't think I want to change the color for these here just yet. Maybe if I do, I'm going to do it separately. Okay.
Communicate it.
Oh, that's a very short it.
Without necessarily giving us all of the verbiage.
And I'm going to move this I'm to here visually.
Yeah, I feel like it's everybody knows that they have to use those safe zones, but it's always, I feel like it's really, if you know the history, it's...
Yeah. Also, one of these is technically a graphics one and an action one. So the graphics should be inside the main box, and the action should generally, as a rule of thumb, be inside the wider one. And I had to explain to someone recently who was like in their mid-20s. Yeah. And I was like, do you know about responsive video? And they were like, no. And I was like, do you not know that Instagram stories, TikTok, all of them are responsive because Samsungs and Androids and Apple all record things slightly differently and crop things differently on the apps? And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, that's why some look weird. Yeah. That's that problem.
So much more.
So I think that's why people like centered captions
of like TV and the early eras of the smartphone really prepared us for like, now we're dealing with like vertical video. I feel like it really prepared us for that like multi-format
I feel situation. Like millennials have the edge.
Exactly.
It's like the last remnants of us having an edge on something because we weren't digital natives, so we knew the change.
Right.
So whereas this might be one of the first big changes in a platform for a lot of people coming into these softwares,
Definitely.
Which is bonkers to me. I've lived through so much. I remember the original MySpace.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Oh, I'm going to keep that there because he is saying sometimes, I think there.
Sometimes.
No, he's not. Haha. Right. It's just a mid. So it's like only there for a frame.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to do this. Spoken
to.
Sometimes.
Yeah, that works. I'm so nearly done.
Where you could be performing.
Okay, that works. Last bit.
Later, this is going to change your life.
That's great. I also want to get rid of the comment there. I just think it looks a bit weird.
We are coming up on our halfway point. I'm gonna go ahead and end this
dang.
poll. It looks like 78% of our chat supports captions. So there you go. 70%.
Love that. So if you want a second captions track, by the way, you can literally just be like, I think it's these 3 dots. No, it's not. How did I do this last time? There's like, again, like 8 ways to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. Here, right click, add a track. You can, that's it. Subtitle style, we'll have it in our new Adobe Lifestyle. It's going to default to that. And you can literally just copy and paste this if you wanted. There's other ways. You can also ask it to transcribe into this. But honestly, I think that's pretty much aligned. That looks like it might be. Oh, I drew. That's cool. Yep. So like if you wanted to have a backup of your captions track, you totally could. And we're just going to turn that off for a minute. We will come back to that. That's the reason I've done it. So now let's make this animated, right? We want to animate it.
Yeah.
So let's select everything here. Go up to graphics and titles. Upgrade caption to graphic. And what it's going to do is it's going to move it to a track down below here. We're on V5. All the captions are there now. So we can actually animate them. And there is a very quick way of animating them if you like the pop-in effect. There's a slow way that you can make your own and make it yours. And I can show you that in a second. But honestly, since Adobe bought Film Impact, I wouldn't bother because it's already existing. So you can literally just select it all, go up to the Film Impact dashboard. And again, if you don't see this, it is in window. And I think this one is in extension because it's a newer one. We can search pop animation and click apply, and it should have, in theory, applied to every single graphic.
It looks
So
like it has, yeah.
it looks like it has. So let's have a look at it.
I think this is incredible because I feel that when you go for standard speaker training, you don't really learn this stuff. It's not about wanting to become a stand-up comedian. I think
just
that's
like that.
Great, go for it if you want that. But it's about learning how to tell stories that make people smile and laugh.
We love a good template.
Literally, that animated in a second. That's crazy behavior. I'm going to show you the slow way to do it. So let's Control Z all our thoughts. Yeah. Well, let's go back to just our original Control Z. Where'd it go? Come on. Is it not doing it? Why isn't my Control Z? Oh, you know what? It might not be working because my mouse, bear with me. Undo. No. Undo. No. This is Good
thing we made a copy.
Yeah, I tend to make copies anyway, just cause you know when you try something to be like, yep, that's a thing, and then it doesn't work in the thing. Come on. Edit. Is it not? Undo.
Is there like a history panel? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm on it. There is definitely a history panel. I just need to find it. Again, you click it, it goes here. Oh, it is doing
you got like a million of them, huh? Yeah.
It's only gonna do
how
far? Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna need Adobe to work on that.
Yeah, all of those are individual actions that it performed. Got it.
Yep. Got it. I'm gonna need Adobe to work on that. You know what? What we're gonna do is use our second caption track. Not touching that. That sucks. Nope. But now live and learn. There we go. So let's double check that's all the same timing. It is. Wonderful. Right. Turn off backup track. We don't need backup track. Oh, by the way, if we wanted to just change second speaker, where is he? This. Right. That's too much. How much does it talk for? Sometimes verbiage. And then he goes back to him. Right. So we could, in theory, just select, where is sometimes? A, U, oh, it's A. Okay, so this one. Select all the way to, I think it's verbiage. That was the last one. We can go back into graphics, not graphics, properties, and decide we want, you know what? There's a way, where's the way to look? You used to be able to find a way to look at this as like crayons, but I'm not going to bother. It doesn't like that yellow. That's fair. It's not a great yellow. Why is the yellow so icky? What's going on there? Let's have it. There we go. We can have him as this, and I'm going to turn the stroke off, for example. And that should have changed for just those ones. And I could always set a second style and call that like the deck style, but we're not going to do that. But that should help. We're only going to do it for that one. We're not going to do it for it all. We're going to go in once again, and we need to turn this into upgrade to track to captions. Great, we love that. It's all captions. I'm going to go to the last one, click it, and we're going to make a preset. So the way you do this is you go to effects. You want the actual transform effect. We don't want to use the transform tools. We want the effect. There is a reason for it. Video effects, transform. Let's just drag that onto that clip. And we're gonna go into effect controls. Is it there? Hang on, I need to zoom in. Not on that though. Let's just zoom in over here. Transform effect. Click on that. There we go. It is that one. Perfect. Right. Sorry, thought my pet was there. And we're going to make a preset. So the way we're going to do this is, first off, we need to turn off this the shutter angle compensation. And we're going to turn the compensation for the shutter angle. I'm going to turn the shutter angle to 360 degrees. This is going to give us a bit of motion blur when we're doing stuff, pretty much. And then we're going to go right to the beginning of this life clip. Ooh, I somehow turned on in and out. Let's clear that in and out, shall we? There we go. Don't know how I did that. I must have just slammed a keyboard at some point. So we should be on the first thing of life. And we are going to change sizes. And I wrote down the sizes because I know what I like to use and I don't like to guess the moment. We're going to click this little stopwatch. This is how you animate and make keyframes. So we're going to do a stopwatch. It's going to be for 0. You're then going to go and move 5 frames. 1, 2. Nope, not moving, are we?
No.
Let's try again. No, not doing it. Let's try up here. Maybe it'll listen up here. 1. No. Wow. Come on, guys. Come on. 1.
I'm
2,
glad that you
3.
also talk to I refer to it that way as well.
Okay.
When I'm talking to the software.
Oh yeah, it's like I can go up and down. I can go to the end points of the clip, but I can't do frames. And it's so big now, I can't remember where it was. I swear it was on the word life.
I mean, like the giving it encouragement, like, come on, you can do it.
Come on, you can do this. There it is.
I do the same thing all the time.
Why can't I go up? There we go. Oh, it worked for a second. Great, love this. It's going really well. Okay, I know what it is. Let's try enabling the track above so it knows that I also want to go to the top of that one.
Okay.
Okay, it's not going to let me do 5 frames. We're just going to predict it. 1, 2. We're just going to say, you know what? We'll just do it quick and dirty. We'll just do here. And then another keyframe. And we're going to make this 120, like bigger. So it should go from very small to very big in this time frame. And then 1 frame, we want it to bounce us. So it did it there. It did it. Oh my God, it did it. But it didn't do it up here.
I wonder why? What changed? Just a weird thing.
I think, honestly, I can see it going, oh, it's changing the scale. That's incredible.
Interesting.
120. Yeah, we're having a great time. And there we go. I'm going to zoom in, see what it's doing. There we go. 1. Okay, so this is too many frames. First off, this is going to suck.
It's gonna be real slow.
it's gonna be a bit too much. I didn't predict this right, so I feel like 1. Oh, it's not going so well. Oh, I know why it is. I figured it out. I was working with audio and trying to get audio to sync. So basically, I have audio time units on. And that makes everything micro seconds.
Okay.
So if to switch that off,
you were moving it, but like it was impossible to tell.
Real small.
Yeah.
If you're having issues syncing sound, switch on audio time units. By the way, it's like the best way. So I'm going to turn that. There we go.
Yeah, that seems really handy, but also like really not helpful in this situation.
1, 2, 3,
like you have to
4, 5.
remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm going to delete these because actually it was too fast. There was nothing happening. If anything, 1 frame. Great. So this frame is now the one behind it, please. One behind it, please. Okay. This one. Thank you.
There we go.
Sorry, yeah, I do talk to my technology. I believe it knows exactly what's happening based on the adverts I keep getting. So
no, I feel you on that. Like I just was saying, I do the same thing. Right. I talk to it all the time.
So we've done this pop, right? So it is that. And then a further 3 frames, 90. And then we want 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's too small a clip. You know what? We'll just make this long. It's fine. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
It's a powerful statement. So
make this back to 100. So it should do a little bounce. We've made it do the little poppy bounce.
There we go. Oh, there, yeah.
It's just, it is a little slow, isn't it? I don't like how slow that is. Let's select these little keyframes and move them a bit. That's better. And then we want to make these a bit smoother. So I'm going to select these keyframes, right click, change these to Bezier. If you don't know what that's doing, it's like making them really smooth. And you can look at the velocity curves. The velocity curves, just a posh way of saying speed. So how fast it's going and the way it ramps up and down. Whereas it looked before, if I control Z, yes, it looked very rigid. And if I do that again, right click, Bezier, curvy, smooth, with grace and intention.
I feel like School of Motion probably has a demo. They have like a lot of websites that show like, you know, what all the different things do. So you can probably find a demo if you want more.
Yeah, about probably. That. And then we're just going to save the preset, and I'm going to call it the AD Live, the Adobe Live bounce. BON bounce, because it's going to save, and we want it to scale because it's going to change depending on whatever clips are, if it's too short or whatever.
Yeah, if you left that the same, it would look real weird on, you know, the shorter and longer clips.
So we're going to zoom out, and I'm just going to, there's easier ways to select things, but I do like to marquee tool select. Go away. Sorry.
It's fine. As long as you were
I'm just being abusive to my software. Go away. I'm done with you. And we are going to go back into the effects panels, and I'm going to go up here and find ADL. It's in my new presets I made. I'm going to click it. It's going to apply to every single one, and it should.
I think this is
nope, it didn't do that. In fact, it didn't do that. So let's just try and drag it on. There we go.
Oh, there
let's
we go.
Just
now
drag it old-fashioned way. And then
I think this is
it's doing a more subtle bounce that I can control.
Standard speaker training, you don't really learn.
And you can play with that shutter angle. It's
stuff. It's not about.
Yeah, so I mean that can be handy, even though it's kind of the longer way. It depends on your use case. Way. You know.
Why wouldn't you just use the transition thing? Okay, so maybe we don't want it smack in the middle now as well. We've changed our minds. You know, life is fickle. We're allowed to change our minds. It's my birthday. I'll do what I want. It's not.
I'm just gonna ask.
So it's not. It's just a fun, like, I'll do what I want. If you just want to change everything in a group, your spelling's correct, you've done your color changes, you changed the brand, you've done literally everything else you want to do. You can simply just nest this. Captions. Give it a name. And the easiest way you can move it is to then go to your properties panel and move it up and down.
Oh, there you go.
Easy peasy.
Right, because you kind of made like it would be like a pre-composition if you were in After Effects. I'm more of an After
so
Effects
it's all
person.
there. It's all there. I'm not an After Effects person. It was like, I'm going to learn one software really well. I can't do two.
I mean, I feel that. I also feel like I know After Effects better than Premiere, but it's a range, you know. They're not high up there. My skill set.
And then, you know what? I have someone on my team. I have two people on my team that are After Effects people. I'm like, could you make me slow with it? And they're like, you could do it. I was like, I don't want to. The only thing I could do on there competently is rotoscoping, and I don't even need to do that anymore because of the object mask tool.
True.
So
yeah.
Not unless it's like a real hair issue. But so the other thing so maybe you're like, is my text being blocked by different social media preferences? A nice way to check. If you just go to a new project, and there's a template feature when you click new project. And a lot of people don't know this. You can make your own templates, so you can open it up every time. Okay. Or like you could just open a templates folder, add a template. It's great. Or what I tend to do, which is probably not the best idea if I question things, is there's a social media template and I just create one or I open one up. And it literally is every project currently of the big social media platforms. So we have TikTok vertical. Let's go for that one because it really is the vertical platform, like as much as Instagram's trying right now. And boy, are they trying. And you'll see like they've made these layers and they're just graphic layers to be like, this is what will get cut off, blah, blah, blah. Speaking of this is what will get cut off, look at that responsive video layer telling you what will get cut off from your video in some platforms.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go in, I'm going to paste it over here because I had a feeling it was going to do that and go a bit lower than we wanted. Did I shrink the timeline? I did. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to shrink it this way. And I'm just going to click these things, move them on up above our captions. You know what? Maybe not above. I'm going to do it here so that they're underneath my captions. Yes. And then I'm going to change the opacity of this so I can see things like that. And now I can tell, okay, oh, I don't even need that purple layer. It turns out it is all this layer. It's just letting me know this is just a text layer that's like just
what
so
it
you know.
is, right? Like what you're looking at.
Yeah, that's the handy. So I'm like, okay, you can see that this matches up with that broadcast safe zone, that things might crop here, and it's true, it might. I've seen it happen. The minimal description name of TikTok is down here, which is why we have our lower third higher. And we have all these buttons and even the stuff at the top, because some people put their captions at the top and then it's covered by all the menus and the other words, like check out this live, STEM, or whatever they decide to do that week. So I'm like, I'll go through and I'll check to see if the words aren't too long. Maybe I'm like, oh, this is maybe too big. Maybe I want to make it more subtle. And you can just very quickly make tweaks of like, maybe I want this here. Maybe I want to position it lower, because as long as it's not getting in the way of the lower thirds, it doesn't matter. And that's kind of like it. Like that is like how I check. And then you want to make sure more than anything in the world that these layers are switched off before you post.
Oh yeah, right. Otherwise you're gonna have those visual, yeah, because they're not like guides, like invisible guides. They're actual, like you said, they're like graphic frames.
Yeah, they're like a graphic thing. So I'm like, okay, so this definitely works for TikTok. I can go in and go to this layer, do the overlay, copy, paste, come in over here if I wanted. These are all in separate sequences. You could also just drag the sequence in, but I'm not gonna. It cannot be bothered. And this again can bring it through, have a bit of a look.
So this is just a way that you would check against all the places you're planning on posting this, that you're not getting anything cut off.
Especially some that maybe if it's for a client project in particular, there's some I am just less familiar with because I personally don't use them, like Facebook Reels.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing these days. To be honest,
they're paying people so much money. Like creators are making so much money on Facebook, like tens of thousands a month. But I don't use it. My mum does. And I know that because my mum has learned how to download the video and now WhatsApp it to me because I don't use Facebook, which is hilarious.
She'll send us. She's like, she gets an ad for something on Facebook and she'll send like the video. Like, how can I buy this?
That's so funny.
What's then we have really to hunt funny, it down, like mom.
I'm actually going to move this captions track back down here. What's super funny as well, I've just made so many layers and I'm trying to clean it up as I go. I like to keep a clean timeline.
We've got a comment in the chat from Cody. Templates are really useful. It always bugs me when the text is underneath the social UI and you can't read it. Yes, exactly.
I get so mad. It's also on YouTube when people, because the subtitles are automatically on this point of a track. And if it's a YouTube video, it's exactly where the player is when you click pause. So if I want to read something and pause really the video, I can't read the text and that makes it inaccessible. Just irony. But I go through and check these for a couple of reasons. What's YouTube Shorts doing? Oh, see, I could just drag it in if I wanted to. Is it going to ruin my sound? No, wonderful. But the problem when you drag it in is it's got that purple background. Wonderful, let's get rid of it and do it the old-fashioned way. One more time, show you the difference, because I think it's really important to see the difference on how all these platforms interact. Where is it? There it is. It's called This Will Be Cut Off. Great. Get rid of that. We got there. Got there. Yeah, so YouTube is even like a whole other thing as well. Also, apparently it's very millennial to have this gap in the top because we have learned about this stuff and watched it on TV for years. But apparently Gen Z and lower like film like this. And I'm just like, but then your head is in but it's not even that, your head is in the graphics.
Yeah, that's that too. Yes, you're right. But I feel like it also just like makes it feel like very like close. Like too you're too close. Like whoa.
I'd be curious to know what film and TV is going to look like, in the same way like there's that new Pixar film that apparently has been the way they've made that animation is so they could do vertical crops of different areas of the screen, so it's actually a really wide film, like there's not a lot of close-ups, and I'm curious to see how this affects say soap operas because they're looking for the vertical and it's going to be like this. I'm just want to know that. But anyway, that is like the basics of single word captioning. Are there any questions?
There's no questions in the chat. Oh, wait. Cody's just saying that's really odd to film without head space at the top. Yeah, maybe it's a millennial thing. Like you said, I don't know. But it feels weird. Like it feels too close. We don't have any questions about
I can just summate. I've got 4 minutes, I believe.
Yeah, we've only got about 4
4
minutes. So if you want to
minutes.
do a recap, and then we can let everybody know where they can find you kind of after this.
Yeah, so that is captioning. Let's go back into let's click the captions so they will come up.
And if anybody
that is
has
single word
questions,
captions.
now's the time.
Now's the time. But basically that is the single word captioning workflow to hard burn in the code, like the captions. If you change them to a graphic, you have to switch them on and off, by the way, when exporting, if you want it clean without captions and burned in with captions. In the export settings here, if you keep them like as is up here, let's turn off this beautiful caption track we made so we can just see this one. When you export and go to the export window very quickly, I just want to highlight this while I can.
But also, isn't exporting, you don't want to export the captions burned in. Like, that's not good for accessibility.
It depends, because sometimes you do, because some platforms you can't add a separate SRT file.
Yeah, that's true. Right.
But for YouTube, you want to make it a sidecar file, and you can't make it as fancy sometimes, but you just click this on it and you can tell it to either a sidecar file, which is basically just almost exporting a separate file that you upload into YouTube. If you're a YouTuber, most people will know that. And you get this SRT file. You can name it whatever you like. You can export several in different languages, which is what's for YouTube. That's awesome because it does translate and stuff. And you can include your styling if you want, because Premiere's allowing that, and YouTube's kind of allowing it. There's some cool things happening on the platform. They change a lot. But to summarize, that is there we go. That is basically how single word captioning works. If you want to do it in your workflow, check the spellings, and not in app. If you just want to, when you get to the app, you can just upload it. You can export directly to app.
Oh, yes. I think, isn't that new? Is it fairly new?
I think it's fairly new. I think it came up like a year ago.
We do have a question too in the chat asking the best export settings. So maybe we could double up here.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm happy to do that. Right. So firstly, I'm a big H.264 girly. This is going to change in the next few years. It's slowly moving to just H.265, but like that codec is difficult for some things. It's like H2, it's a clunky codec. I get it. But generally, you still want that. It's what a lot of platforms do. I tend to dip in and go, match source, adaptive high bitrate, video settings. I would turn on render at maximum depth and render at maximum quality. That's important. We have no alpha channels. And then for you, 5, no. For YouTube, you want about 15 on the bitrate. If you want it higher quality, you can bump it up. But the thing is YouTube is always going to compress it to roughly this. But if you go higher, you can go higher. It's going to be fine. What you'll notice down here is the file size will change more than anything. But these are the best settings generally for social media, is about 15 to 20. So if you want to make it a little bit better, 20. If you want it to make sure it's better, you want to do 2 passes and say it set the targets for about the same. So something like this, and maybe you can go as low as 15, and it will like put more compression in when it needs to, and that's how you make an efficient size.
It needs to be the same settings. They may be slightly different for the different platforms you can export to directly, or no?
15 is generally the bitrate codec for streaming platforms, unless you're Netflix. That's completely a different source. But for social, all round, you want this. You want to export generally, like for TikTok in 1080, because it doesn't handle 4K very well, and neither does Instagram, although they say they do. They don't. They recompress the file. You're better off down, like exporting it as a 1080. If you filmed in 4K, it will look super crispy and beautiful.
We do have one more question. I don't want to miss it.
Yeah.
Are these settings only for vertical video, or is this okay for
this is for long form as well for YouTube? It's the same settings. That's what we use. Occasionally we'll get a client being like, boost it, and I'll be like, okay, I'll boost the bitrate, you can have a bigger file, but generally that's what we aim for.
Okay, I think those are all the questions, so I am gonna switch this over, unless you have any final things you want to cover real quickly in like 10 seconds.
No, we're good.
Okay. All right, well, thank you so much for sharing your work and your tips and tricks. I know Cody said gonna go back and rewatch this one. Lots of good info, especially for social.
Oh, I'm glad.
Posting. So yeah, thank you so much. Let us know your preferred place where folks can follow you after the stream.
Yeah, Mandy Celine's my name. It is at Mandy Celine on Instagram.
Okay, excellent. So yeah, I think we've got that in the description of the video if you want to go find that link so you can follow Mandy and all of her adventures on social media.
Enjoy.
Yeah, we've got the Adobe Express for Educators stream coming up next, and we will see you all next time. I'm sure you'll be back on with us again in the future, Mandy. All right.
Oh, thank you. I love being here. Thank you, Jack.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.